It's Wednesday evening. Here we are. I even posted the correct time. It starts at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. I don't know. Somehow I was posting the wrong time. Oh, man. That's not good. You guys need to keep me in check out there. Fortunately, Shannon showed up and told me. So you guys wouldn't tell me. Anyway, I'm glad that you're here. If you are out there just watching from afar, you can come on into the Zoom call if you want. Just click on the link there in the description and it will bring you in here. We even got Dana Higginbotham here today. I mean, he's usually just hanging out there in the room.
Yeah, getting sauce, but not today.
Getting sauce, making wise comments from out there. So thanks for joining us, man. That's great. So tell us where you're located at again, Dana.
I'm in Cave Creek, Arizona, right off of Phoenix, Scottsdale border. Yeah.
Cave Creek, yeah.
Yep.
Good area.
Yeah. Actually, my sister just got a house there in Cave Creek just like last year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. They just moved in out there. So she was over there like on Campbell.
Oh, okay. That's down in Phoenix.
Yeah. So she's definitely a nicer neighborhood than where she was before. So I don't know if she's watching. She says, "Hey, how you doing, sister?" I don't know if she watches this or not. I know she's a member of the group. But that's where I'm usually at, around Thanksgiving time. But this year I just didn't make it down there. I like to hang out there when I can.
Yeah.
So anyway, what's going on out there, man? What's the big news?
I don't know if there's any big news. Everybody's trying to wrap up their year, though. All these jobs that have to be done by Christmas, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to do that. I got one rack that I have full of shower doors. I'm trying to get that cleared out before I take off 2 weeks. So we can have.
Yeah, but how many ordered doors last week that had to be done by Christmas?
A lot.
Like
8 of them. Like 8, 9.
I've been meaning to call you. Can't you get it done? Unbelievable.
We're closed on a Friday, and a lot of people wanted it done before Christmas. I go, we'll come in, but it's going to cost a little extra. They're willing to pay. I'm like, okay, sure, I'm coming in. So,
are you guys are you giving Friday off or Monday off?
Both.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, because Old Castles is closed on Friday, and Monday and Friday. So it's like, all right, well, let's do the same thing.
That's true.
The guys work hard, man. They deserve it.
We're gonna take all week off next week.
Wow.
Oh, but
yeah, we're doing the same thing. It's hard to do anything during that week anyhow.
Wow.
True that. Yep. Hard to do anything. It gets so cold in my shop, man. It's just like I can't stand it. Like my office I've got a heater in my office, so it's like I'm out there trying to do work, but it's just I'd rather be in my office.
You got electricity to run it?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right.
I've been saving up.
Rolling brownouts.
Yeah. I got a generator. I can always start it up if I have to.
Just in case. Yeah.
Runs on gas and propane.
Any snow going on in the northern part of the country right now? No?
None up here.
No?
Nah.
Why am I seeing a lot of flights canceled for Thursday?
Because it's supposed to be super cold and raining, so we may be covered in ice and possibly snow Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay,
So
that makes sense.
Coming east, but I don't know how far north it's going, but it could be quite the mess here if we're I think that the high is supposed to be like 4 on Saturday or something like that.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, wow.
New Hampshire got a few inches last week, I think. I don't know. I'm only 20 minutes from there, and we didn't get anything, so I'm thankful for that.
Yeah,
Off as long as possible.
Minnesota got, 6 inches. I don't know about
Colorado's
Buffalo.
Colorado's high tomorrow is 0 degrees. It's negative 17 the night in Denver
Oh,
with a wind chill of negative 50.
I mean, that's not for humans.
No. So I'm glad I live in Arizona.
That's why I'm glad I live in California, man.
I don't store my ice cream in those temperatures.
Jeez. Wow. I wouldn't want to deal with that caulking in the back of the truck.
Right?
Yeah. Or the tools.
you put it- You put it on the floorboard with the heater on.
Yeah. Heater, what's that?
Or back in the old day, we used to get the can of mastic and stick it in the engine block.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Yeah, I remember those days, man.
We used,
I
to
was
put our
taught
burritos,
by-
we used to put our burritos in there too when you drive to the first job site.
That's right.
Wow.
Adrian, what's up with Tom Hanks there behind you? What is he trying to tell us?
Jenny. I don't know. Jenny. I'll figure out something funny.
That is funny. That is funny.
He look like he wants to eat me. Look,
he's biting your head off. He's huge. Oh boy. Okay.
if I go away, it looks like I'm still there. See?
Crazy. So what's going on? You guys gonna do any work the rest of the week, or are you just guys partying, or what's going on?
We're working
Working.
through, maybe give them a half day Friday, get out a little early Friday, and then they've got Monday off, but we're at least getting a couple installs per crew in on Friday.
Yeah, I have a couple
Hey,
of
Bill,
jobs
how-
to get it done too.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, how many shower door installs do your guys do? Is there a quote that they have to meet like every day, or
Yeah,
What?
each team has to do 3, unless you
3 a
have a
day?
super big custom. Yeah, and they go out in
Okay.
teams, right? So nobody works by themselves. Always 2.
yes, same thing here. So, and that includes like a regular single door and stuff like that. That includes one.
Yeah,
or-
it could be a single door and panels, slider, basic stuff. Even the Neo is basic. If you get into a custom or a steam, then they'll be down to 2 a day.
Yeah, and then how
But-
about like if they have to drive pretty far? I mean, what's your driving range?
I got 12
Okay.
trucks out every day just out of the Naples Fort Myers. So we got that driving all squared away because we have
Nice.
GPS locations. So guys are going within a couple of zip codes of each other.
Nice.
And then they'll pick up a service call on the way back to the shop if they have to.
Do the guys do their own service calls, the ones that install,
No.
or they do everybody's?
Everybody's.
Okay.
Yeah. Years ago, I used to do it, but then I would run into that, their job is in North Fort Myers, but the service calls down in Naples, and it didn't make sense just to run down there for that. So get a team that's already down there.
I try
They're
to.
paid,
yeah.
they're paid hourly. If a guys were paid piecework, then they have to take care of their own. I mean, years ago, before I moved to Florida, that's what we did. The guys were getting paid piecework. They would make X amount of dollars per type of door
I
that
know.
they installed, and then they were responsible for their own service calls.
I wish we could do that here in California, but I don't think we can.
Why? You can.
I don't know.
Carpet installers do that. They're subcontractors.
Yeah.
They're
I gotta
making
check
it
into
harder.
that.
They're making it harder and harder to do. I mean, the IRS really doesn't want you doing that anymore. So they're doing everything they can to outlaw it. But you can, you can still work around it.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, even if they were employees, though, you could still have them do generalized service calls. They don't have to do their own crew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you can pay guys piecework and they're not 1099 either. They could be employees and their pay rate is just based on the doors they do. So it doesn't mean that they're a subcontractor.
That's right. Yeah, it'd just be like a commission sale sort of thing.
Yeah. So you can still pay them that way. We just found as a company, it's better just to pay hourly. That way they're not complaining
Mhm.
if they get stuck in a traffic jam or whatever. I mean, we'll know if they're goofing off because all the trucks have GPSs in them and leave breadcrumb trail wherever they go.
Yeah, well, you can
Hey,
tell
Bill,
how productive people are, you know.
Yeah.
let me ask you something, Bill. When you have like a service call, something like out of warranty, usually you have like replacing seals, like bottom wiper, this kind of stuff. What's your like the standard rate that you and the other guys charge
Yeah.
for?
I don't know what our competition does. I have no idea, but we charge $90. It's a flat rate. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless they need a new door, it's $90 service charge if it's out of warranty. But we're pretty
Mhm.
flexible with warranty too, even if they're 3 or 6 months over.
Oh, okay.
You know, we'll
Yeah,
consider it.
I'm doing like 100 here for the seals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay.
mean, I think
Yeah.
that's fair.
Now,
Mhm.
what if it's
Yeah.
not a door that you installed?
That we don't
Well,
touch it.
you won't touch it. You won't replace seals on somebody else's door.
Nope.
No,
You touch it,
Mhm.
don't touch it. Yep. You touch it, you own it. They start leaking or whatever, then it's like your problem.
Mhm.
I just don't do it
So, Bill, do you guys do repairs at all?
on our own doors. Yeah,
But so if somebody calls you, they need a repair, you don't do it unless it's yours.
that's right. I don't have spare parts. I don't have all that stuff.
Right. How about the rest of you guys? Who does like repairs?
I'm
I
too
do.
busy for that.
I do.
Brian does.
Yeah, I usually
Peter,
do.
I do
Peter
too.
does.
Mhm.
And Brian, Brian and Peter, I think that's smart because when we started, that's what we did too. You had to do it to get your name out there and get your exposure
Yeah.
out there.
Mhm. Yeah,
you
for
can
sure. When
make-
I get too busy, I won't be doing anymore for sure.
Yeah, but you know, it gets your name out pretty good that
Yeah.
way, and you're still making money on it.
Mhm. That's true.
So
Yeah,
it's
I
not
mean,
that
there's
it's a
been a
bad thing.
couple times where I went to repair it and it was just unrepairable. I mean, there was no repair to be done. It just needed to be ripped out and
Yeah.
a new one installed. So, you run into that every now and again too, I guess, where it's beneficial to a point.
How many guys have salespeople? Specific salespeople for your staff.
We
We
used to have one.
We have a couple.
Billy
We
and
had a couple of
Brandon
them.
do, right? Adrian, you do?
We used to have a few of them. Yeah.
How out of the box thinking are they to generate new leads, new sales? Do they do that, or are they just order takers? They just go after the orders that or phone calls that you give them, or do they go out of their way to try and bring in new business?
We have baby boomers, man. So you guys know what I'm talking about. They don't do
Yeah.
that stuff. I'm sorry, no offense to anybody.
Oh,
But yeah,
that's
they don't do that.
That's the way it is.
We have our salesperson in Austin is a go-getter. She comes up with all kinds of ideas and different ways to get business.
So the reason I bring that up, Brandon, there's an app, and I'm sure you probably have it. It's called Nextdoor. They're community apps.
Yep.
And you see on all the time, people are saying, hey, I need a contractor to do tile. I need somebody to do this. We get more leads from that because we just start following that thread, and people will say, hey, call so-and-so, call so-and-so. That's a lead for us. We'll call that tile guy and say, hey, when you're done, we could be your glass supplier.
Yeah, it's
And
the
it
same thing in
works
like
out great.
Facebook groups, like contracting Facebook groups. Like she's in those actively where I post something, I'll see it too, and I'll randomly see it, and someone would be like, oh, if you need your tile or your shower tiled, we can help you out. And then I'll post in there, hey, if you need a glass guy for shower doors, like, I mean, I'm already on the internet scrolling anyway, so I might as well post something. So
Of course. I just think that some of the salespeople that have downtime could be so much more efficient if they jumped on a few of those groups, like you said, and just scroll across.
Mhm.
I mean, I was watching one lady that was complaining that some guy took her deposit and didn't come back. And then, of course, people are saying, well, did you check? Is he licensed? Is he this or that? They said, use this guy. And on that one thread, there had to be 25 different references for people to call. I'm going, my salesman, you better be jumping all over and call all 25 of them just to introduce yourself. So when you do the bathroom over, you've got a glass guy you can depend on.
Yeah, I look at that all the time. I see when people refer people for shower doors. I'm like, oh, here's a list. Here's another one added to the list. Or even like Valpak, when it gets delivered to your house, like open it up and look through it, because there's contractors advertising in there. Different types of stuff. You can just pick up a lead or some kind of source to call.
Yeah. The other thing is, if you advertise in magazines, the other people that advertise in that same magazine will always talk to you. Because you can call them and say, hey, you're in this magazine too, and so am I. You know, maybe we should swap cards, and they love it.
Right.
And then you get references.
What is it called, Bill?
What is it called? Like Home Mag is a big national magazine. We've been in it for, I don't know, 15 years. And it's just ads. There's no editorial. It's all for home improvements. So it's called The Home Mag. You can get it online, but they are specific to certain regions.
Yeah, so it's interesting to me, just listening. Here's a couple of guys who have pretty big companies, like multiple locations, right? Talking about how they're sitting, on the couch, scrolling through Facebook, messaging people.
Yeah.
I mean, these are guys who really probably don't need to do that, but like that's, I think, how you get to be a big company, is just having that kind of a hustle, and no matter how much business you've already got, you're always looking for that next. And that's it only takes a minute to send a message to somebody or comment on something. I used to sit and play video games on my phone years ago. I'd sat around just playing video games on my phone at night, after work. I did my work for the day, and just to relax. And I realized, wow, instead of like playing games, that for free, I could be like messaging people and making sales, sitting there on the couch in the evening instead, and it really had a pretty radical impact on my business. Just making that one little change, like instead of sitting there playing, whatever it was, Angry Birds or whatever, it's like send somebody a message and, or pay attention to who's looking for help, so it's a good tip for like growing your business, man.
Precisely. And you just hit the nail on the head too, looking for help. I see it all the time. This lady says, hey, my son's getting out of college. Anybody know anybody looking for da-da-da-da-da? I will always reach out. And whether we get that person or not, they just gave you a free ad to run on their thread. So maybe one of their friends somewhere has somebody that's interested. I would always comment on that. And if you comment as your company name, in other words, if your account is set up as your company name, that gives you more credibility with Google searches, that you're active in the social media. The benefit is exponential. Just exponential. Yeah, it's good stuff. But the other thing you were saying, Chris, you know how impactful it is? Like I buy these Ford Transits. Last time we just got some, I got a text message about 8 o'clock at night from the owner of the Ford dealership thanking me to get the thing. I'll never forget that. I mean, here's the owner, not the sales guy that I deal with, but the owner thanking me for buying the Transits. Mm-hmm. I mean, that guy's got a customer for life. Mm-hmm. So you do the same thing. Yeah. I know you've got a software program that you posted it last week, right? That you sent out this guy after a year that his door was getting near the warranty, hoping that he still enjoys the door. That's so powerful. Yeah. And that's an automated system doing it for you.
Dude, yeah, that's Brandon's software, Brandon and Chance's software that they turned me on to like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
That's another thing that's just like radically transformed the way that I was doing business and making sales. It's made it so much easier, and my closing rate went up. It's crazy. I mean, I can look on that program and see what my closing rate is, and you wouldn't believe me if I told you what my closing rate is. I mean, it's that high. It's like pretty close to 100%.
I would say it's probably 85% up. Yeah.
Easy.
Hey, Chris, can I ask you a question about following up with people like after a year? Do you find that it'll open a can of worms after a while? Like, I don't know. It just seems like if I feel like if I reach out to somebody, even if everything's fine, they're like, oh, everything's been great. But while I have you here, can I ask you, is it supposed to do this? Is it supposed to do that? And now they're asking a question where they wouldn't have normally reached out to you to ask. And are you opening up a can? How often do you open up a can of worms?
Yeah, probably 1 out of 20, I would say, maybe 5%. And it's a good thing. Yeah, it sounds like it's not a good thing, right? It sounds like, what if I reach out to them in a year and they say, oh yeah, my handle's gotten a little loose. I don't know how to tighten it up.
To me, that sounds like you're not confident with your work then.
Yeah,
no,
it's
not so much that, but
I get it.
But usually it'll be something that is not, it could be 5 years. You can reach out 5 years later. You know what I mean? And and it is what it is. It is what it is. It's a wearable item or something like that. You can be confident in your work without tapping everybody on the shoulder every single day, being like, is everything okay? Is everything like, at what point is it like, all right, I'm just gonna leave these people alone and leave well enough alone, as opposed to just being like, everything's still okay, buddy? Yeah, everything's good. It's like when the waitress comes over, it's like, everything all right? Yeah, when you get a chance, I'll have another water. Whereas they wouldn't ask about it.
Right.
So I worry about that multiplied out. It's like, all right, if you do 20 a day and you're reaching out to 20 a day.
So about 5% of the time, someone will say, hey, yeah, actually, I was going to get in touch with you, the doors, it needs to be adjusted, or, the handle got loose, like I said, or the seal on the bottom of the door is worn out, that happens about 5% of the time. Probably about 15% of the time, people say, oh, I'm glad you got in touch with me because I've got another shower door. Or, oh, I'm glad you got in touch with me because my brother-in-law is doing construction. They need one. So probably three times the amount of times as I have a problem, I make an additional sale.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that being the benefit. I saw your post the other day, and it's something I thought about before, and I always kind of stopped in my mind to be like, am I asking people if they haven't am I asking for an additional service call, or am I going to get because like we pry for positive reviews, right? That's what we have to ask 100 times. Everything okay? Can we get that review? Is it, but like you hear the one. You don't really have to mess up too bad to get a negative one. All you have to do is make a little mistake. It's like, oh, these guys suck. But, you have to beg for a positive one. So I always kind of gambled that in my head. It's like, all right, but I mean, I appreciate what you say. I appreciate the feedback, because it's been something that's kind of.
And that's totally normal. That's a totally normal thought to have, and it's like so much I find in business, because I didn't start out as a businessman, right? I started out as a glazer.
Me too.
I was like a glazer who thought, oh, I can do this better, and I'll make all the money, So why am I working for this contractor when I'm just, I've got all the talent, right? So so I started my own business, and then I found out pretty quickly, it's like, oh man, I don't know anything about being in business. And so much about it is so counterintuitive. It's like, it's so the opposite of how you expect it to go. It takes a while to learn that. And what I found out is that I like it. It suits me, it's not for everybody, man, but I really, really enjoy the challenges and the give and take and all that, of being in business. I like the sale. I like customers. I like people. I like it. And so, yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to try something, and it's not one size fits all, right? What works for me won't necessarily work for you. It just really depends on, the configuration of your business and what your goals are and stuff like that. But try things, try different things. You may be surprised, like what works and what people say will never work and don't ever do that. Those are some of the things that have been golden for me, because nobody else does it.
Mike, take your example of what you just talked about. You're in a restaurant and the waitress comes over and checks on your water. Now, you're the customer. If she didn't ask you about your water, would you say to yourself, they don't care about me? But
No,
the
I just,
fact that
like,
she
if I-
did ask you, does that make an impact?
Maybe not to me. To some people, I get it. I could see how it would to some people. To me, I don't really care. I would just sit there and drink my whiskey. Whatever's next to the water. I wouldn't really care. But I do understand. Like, some people would be like, "Oh, she hasn't checked on me in 5 minutes." It's me. I just want to be left alone. So, like, but I know I get it. People have different personalities, different things. That's why I was asking. But there are, like, a lot of needy people out there that just want to be. Can you come back and look at this? It was making a noise like a month ago when my mother-in-law was using it. It was this, it was that. And I'm always afraid. It's like, all right, I'm gonna ask these people, is everything okay? And I'm always worried, like, all right, I'm gonna end up with an extra 10 service calls for this week because I'm asking everybody if everything's okay. And now I'm gonna be driving around checking on. Like you said, I think it was doing this. My husband said that, and so that it always kind of made me a little bit nervous to try it. But I'm willing to try anything.
Sure. It's an interesting topic.
Yeah.
The other thing, it was a year ago that we were on this thing and Christine was on there, Christina, and she was asking if anybody keeps these KPIs, key performance indicators, and which ones are important to you. So as we start winding down the end of this year, did you look back at how many doors did you install this year? How many remakes did you have to do? How many times did your vendor not supply you the right glass where you had to go back 2, 3, 4 times? Did you get any chargebacks from the builders or whatever reason? Or did you have to charge back a builder because you went there because they needed it and the painters were in the way and you couldn't get in, or the tile wasn't set right, or the threshold wasn't on? Do you guys keep track of that? And if you do, what do you do about it?
We do. We track all that. So
Yeah.
all the go
It's
back.
important, isn't it?
We track whose fault it was, who repaired it,
Yeah.
whatever it is, all that stuff. I get monthly reports on it all as well in an email that for each installer, how many go backs, how much at fault, how much money, how many times they called in, how many times they were late, a lot of whole bunch of different numbers. And we also have a waterfall that we do, and we have weekly meetings on it to see if we hit our quarterly goals to complete our stuff in our waterfall to keep moving forward. So then this month we look back and finish whatever we weren't able to get done in beginning quarters or whatever, to try to wrap it all up to hit our 100% number. And then we have our big goal on whatever our main numbers are that we want to do, how many installations we want to do, and we have our average number each installation costs. So we track each installation and how many installations each guy does a month compared to the revenue, all that stuff. So that way we know kind of what our total gross revenue number should be off those installations as well, off an average. So
right. And you take it further also. So your net profit, your cost of goods sold, your labor portion.
Yeah, we know our gross profits and our net profits, and we don't focus too much on our gross revenue. We focus on our net profits, our bottom line. So because if we grow our bottom line, then it is what it is. I mean, obviously we focus a little bit on our gross revenue for sales, but we're focused on growing the bottom line.
So
all those go backs and all that stuff is affecting your bottom line, So
of course it is. Yeah.
What kind of tool you use for that? You have like a software, or you just use like spreadsheets?
We do some of it in our software, and we use a spreadsheet on some of it as well. So
yeah, same thing with us.
It's kind of a mixture.
Yeah, we have a matrix set up for each style door, like a single door. We give them an hour to install it, door and panel an hour and a half, depending if it's in a high rise, you'll add a half hour for parking and da-da-da-da-da. And then the guys will see if they hit it within their matrix numbers. So each of the installers has a goal based on the type of doors that they're installing, make sure they're complete. Have the same thing for the measuring guys. Sometimes the measuring guys put the outer squares in the wrong location, so therefore the glass is not fabricated properly. The outer squares are backwards, and then we go back into retraining and retraining and retraining for everybody.
And so, and when you track that type of stuff, so you can actually follow a pattern that happens. So you can see if there's 10 go backs in a month for leaky showers and it's one guy, you know, you can pull them in and retrain them and let them know, hey, this is what's happening and all that stuff. But we bonus all our guys every quarter. It's a performance bonus every quarter. So it's based off of how much revenue they do per that quarter. They hit certain numbers, they get a certain percentage of that bonus, and it can grow even higher. And then time management, all kinds of extra stuff in there that 100% is the thing. And so they can still get a bonus even if they fail a category. But we can bring them in every quarter and do a performance review and give them their bonus and stuff. And same with the measure guy, you know, it drops every time he has a mismeasure and all that. So
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I'd hate to sit in your office, Brandon, and get that evaluation and have that poster looking over your shoulder. It's like, oh boy, I'm in for it now.
Luckily, it's at my house. I don't even have an office anymore. I gave my office away at the shop, so I just go in there and use whoever's office when I'm there.
You have to borrow an office when you're there, huh?
Pretty much, they kick me in the little closet, the printer room. I have to go in there.
That's awesome. Perfect.
Now that I look closer, I don't think I'm scared of the poster. I'm more scared of the antlers.
All right. Nice. Yeah, and it makes a big difference too on like the size of your company and like and, you know, the way it's set up. Like for me, like there are very few people who probably run a business the way that I do, like as small as I have been, you know, where it's just like been me and my wife, you know, doing it. So like for me, it's like I know, hey, I need to do this many installations in a week, you know, to make the kind of money that, you know, we need to make. So for me, it's a lot different if I send out a message to someone and says, hey, how are things going? You know, it's been a year. And they say, oh, well, you know, my handle's loose, you know, I don't know how to tighten it up. I can easily go, oh yeah, cool. I'll come out and tighten that up because it's just me, right? It's not like me sending out. So it's not me sending out an employee to do it. It's me going out to do it. And I've got, you know, I've done all my shower doors I need to do for the week. You know, it's no big deal for me. And it's like good PR. It's like for me to go out and do that, it's like, wow, you know, I win a friend. I really wow them. It's like, here, look, the owner of the company is coming out to tighten my handle because a year later, he is following up with me. See, that works really well for me. Now, if you've got like 9 locations and like 100 employees and you've got them going out doing that that's never going to work for you. You know, so it's like, so all of these things have to be put in perspective.
Well, the employees aren't going to represent the company the same way you do. When you go back, you shake their hand. Hey, how's it going? How's it been? How's the wife? The dog looks good. You know, they're just walking in. They'd be like, "Where's the handle? Tighten it up. See you later." You know,
exactly.
So, like, I get what you're saying. When the owner goes back, or do you know, the owner that goes back, it's much more of a personal visit than it is a hey, we're here to fix your handle and like have a nice day.
Yeah. Yeah. If I had a big operation like Bill, you know, it's like I would have to handle things completely. I'd have to look at everything completely differently.
Totally different. But you morph into that, right? That's part of the growth cycle.
Exactly.
The things that you have to look at.
That's right.
I mean,
but I still go back and do a lot of our touch-ups and repairs and stuff like that because I've allotted the time to myself and I know I'm going to go in and approach it differently. You know, I'm kind of mid-size, but I'll still go do it myself because I can have the interaction the proper way. I can make the customer feel the way I want them to. They feel like I'm taking, you know, time to address it rather than just sending a crew. And I keeps all my crews installing, which is the key thing. I've got to keep them going all the time and trying to keep up with volume. So I'll go do those myself. I'll also make sure that I'm doing it at a time that I'm already in the area. I'm not wasting the trip. We're not going out of the way to do it. So I can make sure that the number impact is much lower. Now, I'm not sending out messages like Chris is for the same worry you have. But I do see both sides of the coin there, that it can be positive both ways. But, you know, so it makes sense. Your question or your worry is not invalid by any means.
Mm-hmm.
I would have the same worry with the volume that we're doing and the fact that we're always behind, feeling like we're never caught up. You add that many more repairs and go backs, it's going to be a mess. So it's understanding on both ends, but I'll try to do them myself. If it's a handle, a loose handle or a vinyl piece or a question, I can go do, 15 of those in a day if I want to. If I throw that in the middle of my guys' day, it throws off their installs and messes up their day. So that's one reason to attribute. And yeah, I'm more expensive than one of my senior installers, but at the level I'm at, I can still judge that and work it in and maybe do it on the way home or the way out, or, when I tie it into something that is making money, that'll be something I'll make sure I do.
Well, you say that you're more expensive, but on one hand, you are, on the other hand, you're not. I mean, you're like, and if you're like like Brandon, like check out Brandon, he's made himself kind of obsolete at his shop. I mean, he doesn't even have an office there anymore. So it's like he goes in there, it's like he's just the boss. So he's set up his business to where he doesn't need to be there. He can be out hunting or doing something else. And he's done that by design. So it's like, again, so it's like the boss really, for me, it's like I've just set up myself up with a good job. It's not, I'm really more, there's, being an entrepreneur is one thing, and then being self-employed is something else. And I kind of set myself up to be self-employed, up to this point, so it's a lot different for me. Whereas like Billy, like if he goes out, like, he's a little bit bigger than me too, for sure, so he's kind of in between there, right? So he can be free to go do something like that, so he doesn't have to have his employees going out and doing it. It's all, it's all in flux, right? I mean, it depends on what you want to do, what you can do, how you set up, what your goals are. And those things can all change too, at the drop of a hat. So.
Well, I mean, I like what you said about when you're talking to people, it's like, oh, hey, I'm glad you reached out. My sister's doing a bathroom. I was just at Christmas with my uncle, and he's like, so I can definitely see the benefit of reaching out, because it gets people thinking about you again. And it's just like, oh, you know what? My cousin, was just talking about remodeling a bathroom. Let me treat you in. So I get it. I was always just a little bit wary of it.
I think if you embrace it and take it again, I don't know the size of your business or how many, that would happen. If you're putting in 10 doors a day and a year comes around, that means you're calling 10 a day. That's a lot of customers. And out of the 10, if Chris says he's getting 5%, so,
and some of them could just
you're adding workload.
Yeah. And some of it could just be, and I'm sure if it's a loose handle, I get it. That stuff happens. But some of it, the ones that I worry about are the people that are so needy that like they want you to like move in. Like, I'll just put you a better so you can like maintain my shower every day. You know what I mean? There are those people out there. So it's like when you finally get rid of them, you know what I mean? That sale. And it's like, whew, finally, it's done. Thank God. Everybody's happy. Do you really like open that door again and be like, hey, is everything all right?
I might not set up my system to contact those people.
You just D&D those customers that are bad customers, and they'll never get an automation again. So then you don't have to worry about it going out to the wrong person.
That's exactly
that might be
right.
the way to go, because we try to, I guess we try to cherry pick like our reviews. I just posted a thing the other day about all our positive reviews and stuff. And if I get one, I never leave a customer hanging, you know what I mean? But every now and then, you're never going to get 100% happy customer. You know what I mean? If it might be a grind to get the job done or whatever. And at the end of it, we have it set up that Kim sends the review, the request for the review and all that stuff. But if I just have a customer that's in my head to be like, you know what, the job's done, it's over, let's let it die there. And I'll just send an email to Kim to be like, don't send this guy a review, just leave it alone. So, I mean, every now and then I get that. And those are the ones that I would worry about, like tapping on the shoulder a year later, being like, is everything all right?
Yeah, that's called reading the room, right? You just know the temperature of the customer. You know what you can do. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at
It's
all.
always good to reach out, even a big company to reach out, because the first thing any kind of consultant's going to do into a big company is ask for the customer list and top of mind campaign to those customers and just retarget the existing customers that are already there to advertise towards them for anything and just drum up new business that way as well.
Mhm.
So it's always good to have a good list built and separate it from your bad customers and your good customers to know who to advertise through too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea with the do not disturb thing on follow.
Yeah.
I never really use that, and it's a good way to just be like, let's leave them alone.
Yeah,
Definitely, yeah.
it's a great tool.
Thank
You know, it's interesting that we're talking about this because the reports from the Home Builders Association is that the builders are going to be running into slow times over the next couple of years. At least that's the preliminary indications. I may not see it in Florida because of the hurricane. There's so much rebuilding that has to be done. But throughout the country, it's time that guys have to pay attention to marketing again.
Especially the track builders. The track builders are the national track builders. They're starting to slow down. I mean, Pulte Homes is giving away free pools right now in Arizona to get people to buy a house. So, I mean, they're still building like crazy. And I mean, we're 8,000 houses short in Arizona. So the market's still going to be good out here for home building. But I mean, it's not what they're used to in the last couple of years. So they're kind of leery about it.
That's right. And then you got to.
Do you guys do any like there's some companies that, I don't know about glass companies, but I mean, there's obviously some companies that offer like referrals, like if they refer their brother or whatever for a shower door. I mean, do you guys do
a finder's fee or something?
Yeah, I guess that's what it would be.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's what it would be. I mean, you do anything like that? I've never really.
I have, past.
Yeah, we regularly do that.
For like general customers or for contractors or just pretty much across the board?
Not so much contractors, but regular customers or even employees, like for employees, friends and contacts. If it didn't come in a traditional means and they're bringing in something, yeah. We have these little bonus dollars that we give out to employees and they can use it for different things like going to the movies or going to dinner, or just some kind of stuff like that. So they're not getting cash, but we do have Visa cards and stuff like that we give out also. Yeah.
Is it more like an official policy, like written, you know what I mean? Or is it just like a one kind of flyby?
I mean, everybody knows about it, but it's not down in writing.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about it. Obviously, if somebody needs it for his mother and we're giving him a heavy discount, then he's not going to get an additional thing for bringing his mother's business to us that we're giving her 50% discount off or something. But if it's his next door neighbor, a guy he coaches baseball with, and they need a door, and we get the deal. Sure, I'm going to reward him for that.
Yeah,
unless it's one of my sales guys that's their job anyhow.
That's it. That's what you pay.
I'm just saying, if it's an installer, if it's an office staff, somebody who works in the office, and they bring it, well, normally wouldn't have come to us because they said something. Sure, I want to reward them for that. I want to encourage it.
Yeah, I mean, we do similar stuff. It's just never really put it into like an official capacity, I guess, and then it's only coming to mind now because, like what Chris said, if you were going to reach out to people a year later and start talking to them again, what I mean, it would be something that be like, hey, just to mention it, in that.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
As you grow your business and you get more and more employees, it's important that you get them all on board, that they're all on the same team, and doesn't matter what position in the company they have. They should be salesmen for you. They should be promoting your company for whatever reason. So, if I got order entry girls, I've got glass deduction people, they're as much salesmen as my regular salesmen that are the order takers. So they have many friends. They should get on social networking and share as much of the company stuff as they should. And we're trying to instill that culture in them, because the more the company grows, the more they're going to benefit from it. And, and we try and show that to them all the time too, that we're doing well and you're going to benefit from it. And that's where they buy in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Like years ago, I can't remember how long ago, but somebody asked me where I got most of my business, because I didn't really do a lot of advertising or anything like that. And I said, I don't know, I guess it's repeat customers is where I get most of my business. And they go, wow, that's weird. I mean, you sell shower doors. I mean, how many shower doors does a person buy, you know? And I thought, wow, that's right. That is really weird, but it was true. I mean, I was selling multiple shower doors to the same people. And part of it was just in my market, there's a lot of more affluent people. People own bigger houses, you know, with lots of bathrooms or multiple houses, right? And then within families, you know, some contractors, but not very many contractors. Some people who were like flipping homes. Like I got a few customers like that who were like flipping places, and those were people who wanted like really nice shower doors, and they wanted to get them from somebody who like they could count on, who did good work, who they knew would keep their promises, and that was my niche. So once people found out, you know, they could count on me, you know, to do good work, you know, and to be on time, and, you know, and to keep my promises, stuff like that, you know, all that old fashioned kind of stuff, you know, it really worked for me. And it was weird that, like, yeah, I was working for the same people over and over again.
Yeah. You want to leave an impression on a customer that, one, they're either want to see what else they can buy from you after you did the job because they love your company so much, or two, they want to pass your name out to as many people as they know to be like, man, the customer experience was awesome with these guys. If you need any glass work, these are the guys to go to. Like, and then, you know, you build that referral base pretty easy by just taking care of the customer. The money's a byproduct of what we do. So
exactly.
Yeah, social media is big with that too, because you never know because there's a lot of, like we were talking about earlier, there's a lot of local groups out there, and people just love to tell a good, you know what I mean, about a good experience that they have. So it's almost like you have an extra arm out there of just, you know what I mean, of people just saying, I had good work done by these guys. And you never know when you get like that. Just every now and then you'll get somebody that's really active in their local community, whatever, that it really works out. I mean, even in my town, right? I'll see a post. I live in a small little town. I'll see a post to be like, I'm looking to have my sofa cleaned or my carpentry done. Within 5 minutes, everybody's referring the same guy. I guarantee you, within 5 minutes, it's going to be Mike Silva's name on that thing 8 friggin' times. And with, you know, at a blink of an eye, Mike Silva's carpet cleaning. And I'm like, this guy's got it. You know what I mean? He's got it where the whole like town is referring back to this guy anytime you mention carpet cleaning or sofa. I called him. He just cleaned my office. I mean, it's just, I don't know, but it works.
And you never know who you're going to run across either. You can run across that customer that, you know, president of an HOA or something, or, you know, one of the community groups or something that owns one of those social media pages that has thousands of members in it that you do work for, and they post a shower door that you did and said, if anyone needs any, just free advertisement right there. So you always got to, you know, treat everyone the same. And we never know who you might run across.
A couple of years ago, we did a shower for a lady that I just thought was a customer. She was a nice lady. We thought it was just a customer. And like a year later, she's like, oh, my husband and I are building an 18-unit building or whatever. We want you to put this. Okay. And that worked out. They ended up building 2 of them. So we ended up getting like 50 showers out of that one just by being nice. That's what it turns into.
Yeah. Sometimes. You know, if you're on this call right now, or even just watching, you know, probably you're an exceptional company. I mean, because of like, if you're just like one of these run-of-the-mill fly-by-night whatever companies, you're doing something else right now. You're probably not here on this call.
You're playing angry,
you know, probably
playing Angry Birds.
Probably preaching to the choir here, right? Yeah, playing Angry Birds, you know. But if there's anything you can do, any little thing that you can do in the course of you're dealing with a customer, that can set you apart a little bit. I mean, just to make them feel better, or make them, a little happier. How many times do you go out to a job and you're like the last guy there, right? Because all the other trades have been there and done their thing. Now you're the last one, and they tell you, oh man, these guys sucked. Those guys sucked. Those guys broke that. Those guys messed that up. These guys said they were going to do this and they never did. I'm still waiting on them to come back. And then now it's your turn, and how good of a job do you have to do to be better than everybody else who is on the job? I mean, really not that good. All you really have to do is like an adequate job, and you're probably going to be head and shoulders above every other tradesman that was there in a lot of cases. And if you can just really try to be the best, if it's really just in your heart to do that, and we all come up short from time to time, right? I mean, I fail. I got a lump on my head from where I broke something the other day, and it fell on my head.
Well, so the benefit that we have as like glass guys is we're usually in and out pretty quick. Unless it's like a big railing job, unless it's like a big job. If we're in your house for more than an hour and a half, you have a problem. A lot of the other trades, they're there every day. General contractor, a homeowner sees every day for like 6 months straight. So that general contractor has to have a really good personal relationship, because they're knocking on your door at 7 o'clock every morning, right?
Yeah.
Hey, good morning, whatever. The plumber's going to be there. He's got to come there 10, 15 times over the course of the job. We ding dong. Hey, we had to install your shower door. Have a nice day. Hopefully everything's good. Hopefully, that's it. And that's really it. So like we're in and out of your lives twice. You see us to measure, you see us to install, and hopefully that's it. So we don't really need to have that. It's good to, we don't really need to embrace the relationship the same way like a contractor or a plumber of a big, as a remodel goes on, those guys are in and out of there a lot. With any luck, we're there twice.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So there's what an opportunity you have, there to like, since you're only going to
show up twice. Show up on time twice.
Yeah. If you can nail that, if you can nail the, those two visits, man, you can leave a great impression.
Yeah. So I've always kind of looked at it as a benefit, because we don't really need to see you all that much.
It's true. That's true. Yeah. Less opportunities to
something to go wrong, screw up,
right?
Anything.
Exactly.
I mean, your truck to break down and not show up that day. I mean, like I said, a plumber has to be there 10 times throughout a remodel. If he screws up once, whatever, for whatever reason, they didn't show up that one time, that's going to leave a bad impression.
Yeah, but really, if you screw up and then you make it right, I mean, sometimes you leave a better taste in someone's mouth than if you did everything perfect.
Yeah. I've gotten 5-star reviews from customers that I thought were going to hate me, and all you have to really do is say, I'm sorry, let me come and fix it.
That's true.
They turn into, now they're your best friend.
So really, it's not making a mistake, it's like it's making a mistake and then trying to cover it up, or trying not to take responsibility, or like not
blowing them off.
Right,
they don't want to be blown off.
Yeah, those are the things that really make people unhappy, and those are the things they remember. So it's like you don't have to do a perfect job, you just have to finish strong, I guess.
Yeah, you just have to be a human being. I tell people, we have great reviews, we have everything, and people think we fake them or whatever. They go, listen, I'm just as human as the next guy. If I screw up, I'm going to tell you I screwed up. Let me fix it. I mean, that's it. The majority of the people are cool with that. You always get the one. Whatever.
You got it, man. That's the key.
Yeah. Talking about 5-star reviews, I think Brian has something to bring it up to the table, right?
What's that now?
Well, I hit my 50th yesterday.
Oh yeah,
which was pretty sweet. I was pretty excited about that, and I was thinking, like, for some of you guys that request reviews from customers, how many times do you reach out before you let it go? 4 times.
I have a system that tracks. It's automated, but and I literally was just looking at it. I was just looking at it earlier. And it sends a text. It waits. I don't know the whole thing, but it'll send a text and an email, and then a text and an email. And I'll post the results, and it'll literally say the conversion rate for all 4 steps. And I literally get a 20, like the step 4, where you think people would be like, you think it would be 0. It's like a 27 or 28% conversion rate on the 4th attempt to ask for a review.
Wow.
So after that, we stop, because I mean, eventually they're just gonna whatever. But I do it. We reach out 4 times.
So it's really not 4 times. It's 2 times 2 avenues.
No, it's separate. So it'll send a text. It'll wait a couple days. It'll send an email. Wait a couple days. Send a text. Wait a couple days.
Okay.
So it's all split up. It just bounces back and forth. But no, it's 4 separate. It's 4 separate attempts
Okay.
on 4 different occasions. And sometimes,
Because I always wonder, you know what I mean? Like I of course want the review, the 5-star review, and I want to chase it, but I don't want to chase a ghost and just waste time. And I don't want to kind of like reaching out to say, hey, is everything okay? Like I don't want to bother people.
yeah, I felt that way too. And again, this is one of those things where it's like, I deal with the marketing guy too, and I'm like, dude, how many times if somebody fills out the form on the websites, how many times do I ask them to, you know what I mean, for whatever the next step is? And he's like, dude, ask them until the cows come on. And I'm like, but I don't want to bother them. I don't want to. He's like, does it? I'll just I'll bother them at their grandmother's funeral if that's what it takes. He'll just keep going.
They'll let you know when you've contacted them too many times. Right? They'll let you know. They'll say, hey, stop contacting me. Yeah.
But with the review thing, I just same thing as Chris did. I tried it, and it made me uncomfortable to try. I'm going to bother these people 4 times before, but honestly, it works. And I don't know. Maybe some people need a 5th time. Maybe I'm leaving something on the table. I have no idea. I never really went back to revisit it. I was literally just looking at.
I mean, when you look at it, I'm sure everyone on this call gets emails every single day from the same company that are marketing to you over and over and over, and you don't get pissed off at them. You just see it and you're like, another email and you delete it, or a text from a company advertising, and we don't complain to the company about it. We just delete it and go on. So like it's not as bad as you think to just keep pushing someone. Our slogan for anything is always yes, no, or restraining order. So
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I mean,
tell them that your
system
boss
that we
gonna give you a
use,
bonus for that.
the system that we use is called Nice Job. You can go in, you can configure it, you can set up campaigns very similar to the follow-up stuff that we do. And you can configure it to send out a text, send out an email, and contact them however many, however often you want. And then what it'll do is it'll ask them for a review, and then it'll bring up 1 through 5 stars. If they click on, you can configure this too, but if you click on like 4 or 5, it'll bring them to a link that'll say, if you want to leave a review on Facebook, Google, Yelp, or internal, or whatever the internal one does. And if they click on 1 through 3, it actually goes to an internal form that if they fill out and it just says, you guys suck, I get an email. Instead of it going public, I just get an email that says, Kevin says you guys suck. And then it doesn't happen. I haven't had it happen, but that's what's supposed to happen. But I've never had to go on.
You can build all that out and follow up too, Brian, if you need to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Does all that.
Yeah, Robert and I were just working on building out some stuff a couple weeks ago, which was good.
The more automation, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we got 2 minutes.
Hey, all right, 2 minutes. Bill,
2 minutes.
Has your brother always been that crazy his whole life, or is this?
First of all, that's my son.
Son, I'm sorry. So has he always been like, or is this just like recently? Because he's the biggest distraction during my work day.
and more people feed into it saying, I need more of that. And that just fuels him.
He's hysterical. I don't know. He's got the personality. He's got the delivery. He's got it. I don't know. He belongs in the movie theater. He's hysterical. I don't know where he comes up with half the stuff.
Yeah.
He best all time.
Yeah, he's very good. He probably didn't start it till he was around, I don't know, 17, 18, but he became unfiltered is the best way to say it.
Yeah.
Completely unfiltered.
Yeah.
He gets away with stuff that I wouldn't even dream of saying to somebody. He gets away with it. They laugh.
I know because he's
I'd probably
got,
get arrested.
yeah, because he's got that delivery and he's got that just,
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm just joking persona. I don't know.
People just love him. He's been that way as a kid, though. I'd go into a room and he's like a magnet. It just, people just go to him. I say he doesn't have to have a last name. Everybody knows him by Keith. He's like Cher or Beyonce. You don't need a last name.
He is kind of a diva.
Yeah. Very true. I mean, there's guys that met him at the Glass Show that I've never met him before, and they're still texting him on a daily basis. Just, I don't know, he bonds.
Yeah.
And he responds. So he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watch his videos and I'm like, where did, like, the hysterical, I'm like, where did he even come up with half this stuff? I don't, there was one he was doing a voiceover with the thing and he's showing people his necklace and it's like a USB cord. I go, where's the USB cord? Where does he come up with this stuff?
I'm sure he sees it somewhere and just adapts accordingly. I mean, I've sent them a couple of things that I've seen somewhere and then he just changes it.
He hacks them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just hack it.
Don't we all do that?
He does a damn good job of pulling them off.
Stupid.
He does. But he stays consistent. Like, that's what he tells everybody. Just stay consistent. Keep putting it out there. Then your name. I mean, he just landed this great job just because of his social media.
Yeah, I could see it.
Casey is a joy giver on social media.
What's that?
I said he's a joy giver on social media.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Sure. So, guys, Merry Christmas to everybody. Let me be the first to say
Merry Christmas to all of you.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas.
And
we'll see you one more time before beginning of the year.